Hi guys, welcome back. So 3 months have passed since I did the Dragon Ride Gran Fondo, 215 kilometers, 3,500 meters of climbing in a total time of just over 9 hours. So you might be thinking, what is next? Well, I'll be straight up with you. It's the Fred Witten challenge, the big one. Oh, and I'm gonna do it in under 7 hours. That's right, I've got 7 months to get in shape for sub 7 hours. Can I do it? Stick around to find out. Before we get into it, I'll give you a super quick rundown of where I've been for the last 3 months. So basically, after the Dragon Ride, I took a long time off the bike. Then the summer holidays came and I went on holiday to Peru. I spent 3 weeks there with the girlfriend. We did a 6-day hike to Machu Picchu, which was very cool, if not very exhausting. And then after that, we got engaged. So that is definitely the biggest PR of the year so far. So overall, a pretty good summer. Right, back to the Fred Witten. So how does it actually compare to the Dragon Ride Gran Fondo? Both are obviously pretty tough. The Fred is 185 kilometers with 3,600 meters of climbing. It's actually marginally shorter, but has a lot more climbing per kilometer. That's not even the worst bit. The worst bit is the sheer steepness of the gradients. The Fred has some absolutely brutal climbs, the worst of which is definitely Hard Knot Pass. This is 2.5 kilometers at 15% average, which in itself sounds ridiculous, but it reaches gradients of 33%, which is just off the charts really. I went up to the Lake District last year, actually this year, and it was just too hard for me. I physically could not climb these gradients without getting off and pushing my bike. So I am definitely in for a big shock. So let me put that more into perspective. I couldn't make it to the top of this without stopping, and that is with fresh legs. In the Fred, Hard Knot Pass comes after 100 miles, so not only do I have to get strong enough to climb them, I have to be strong enough to climb them after already riding for like 5 or 6 hours. So yeah, a ridiculous challenge. It's fair to say that the Fred is pretty much as brutal as they come. Even finishing the Fred is seen as a huge achievement, let alone going sub 7 hours. Sub 7 would put me in around the top 5%. And to commemorate that, on the results sheet, you get a nice little word which says elite next to your name. So that is my entire motivation for going for sub 7. So the Fred is on the 10th of May 2026. As you're watching this, it is the 1st of October, if you're really keen and click the video right away. So that gives me 7 months to get in good shape. I'm currently sitting at around 92 kilograms, which is not too bad for me, but I am nowhere near light enough to hit those gradients with any sort of confidence. I'm actually quite happy with where my weight is now. For the Dragon Ride, I was 90 kilograms and that was 3 months ago. So having only gained 2 kilograms while going on holiday and not really exercising much is not too bad at all. I was expecting the post-summer holiday weigh-in to be much worse. So starting from 92 kilograms isn't actually too bad. It's a good baseline, a good starting point. So what's the training plan? Basically, I plan to just take it easy. Lots of zone 2, lots of easy riding from now until January. I need to slowly build up my base fitness again. I do have a weight loss goal, which is to be 80 kilograms, and I want to lose most of that weight before I get into the harder build phase of the program. A lot of long, slow rides should help me build a really strong base and allow me to lose the weight at the same time. I'm sure lots of you know, but losing weight while training really intensely is not a good match. So losing the weight while I'm just doing base building is definitely the way to go. Hopefully I won't feel too lethargic and not have any energy. I'm hoping to lose between 0.5 and 0.75 kilograms per week. This should be a good amount because it's not so much that I'm going to feel really low energy. Hopefully I should be able to maintain this consistently, and obviously when you're doing it for a long time, consistency is the main aim of the game. During this time I'll also be hitting the gym. That's to make sure I maintain my muscle mass while being in a calorie deficit. I'm focusing specifically on my core strength. That's because I want to be able to hold a lower position on the bike and get a bit more aero. The Fred is a lot of climbing, but there is also a lot of flat sections where being able to get low and fast is definitely going to help. I'm also joining a Pilates class. This should again help with the core strength, but it will also work all those little muscles that you don't really think about, all those stabilizers. So after the weight loss / zone 2 phase, I will be moving into the building phase or the peaking phase. This will probably be from February to April. I'm not exactly sure what the specifics of this will be. That is definitely a problem for future me to figure out, but it'll probably be a mix of just intervals and threshold work just to build up my high end. But I need to get the weight loss out of the way before even thinking about that. So how about some power predictions? For the Dragon Ride, I had an FTP of around 310 and a weight of around 90 kilograms. That gave me a watts per kilogram of around 3.4, which is all right, it's nothing amazing. I feel like with a long base phase and a proper build phase, I should be able to get that a lot higher. I'm hoping to get to at least 320 watts. Obviously for these really long events, pure FTP isn't the most important thing. It's all about being able to maintain that power into like hours 6 and 7, but we'll see how that goes. If I can get to a weight of 80 kilograms and an FTP of 320, I would have a watts per kilogram of 4, which is what I've been aiming for a couple of years now. If I can achieve that, I will be super, super happy. I think 4 watts per kilogram is definitely getting into the serious amateur cyclist level, so I would be super pleased with that. So how do I actually plan on losing this weight? In the past, I've used apps such as Chronometer and MyFitnessPal to count calories. I have no problem with counting calories. I know some people say it's bad for your mental health, but I do not believe that for 1 second. I personally find it quite easy to do, but sticking with it for a long time is the challenge. So this time I'm using a new app. So we are now in the AI age, which is where this app called Macro Factor comes into it. This one apparently takes into account your metabolism and adjusts your calorie intake based on that. It needs a lot of data to figure that out though, so in the later months I'll tell you how that goes. But the main feature that Macro Factor has is that it allows you to take a picture of your food and it will give an estimation of how many calories are in it. Obviously you don't want to be using this all the time because it's not going to be perfectly accurate. But if you're in a pinch, for example, you're at a restaurant or something and you just want a general estimate of how many calories are in it, it's quite a good feature. It's better having an estimation than just not putting any data in. So yeah, the main thing is sticking to the calorie counting, sticking to the nutrition plan, and we will see how it goes. As for nutrition, obviously calorie deficit is the main thing. I need to keep my protein intake high to make sure I maintain my muscle mass. But apart from that, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to be trying to eat clean, whole foods, and we'll see where that takes me. So today is the 1st of October, and even right at the beginning of the plan, I have some issues. Last week I did my knee in at the gym. I managed to overextend it, so it has been hurting quite a lot. I saw the physio and he gave me a load of exercises to do, so I need to make sure I get my knee back in good working order before I hit the bike really hard. I reckon it'll be like 2 weeks before I can even start riding. So for now, I'm just going to be focusing on getting my calories dialed and getting my nutrition in. I really don't want to get on the bike too soon because obviously making sure I'm fully recovered is the most important thing. If I don't do that, I'm just going to end up re-injuring myself, which is not good at all. So is sub 7 actually possible? I've watched a few videos of other guys on YouTube and it is definitely a really, really hard challenge. However, there are a few things that I think are in my favor. The first of which is my age. I still like to think I'm reasonably young. I just turned 30, so hopefully I should be able to stick with a pretty tough training plan and I should be able to put on an extra bit of fitness. In terms of lifestyle, I think I also have it pretty good. I work from home, I literally sit at this desk most of the day. That means I should be able to get my riding done early in the morning and then spend most of the day sitting and recovering. If it's really bad, I could even get my laptop and just lay in bed, which is definitely a nice advantage. Also, working from home means I don't have any pressures around food. I can literally just go into the kitchen and make healthy meals. I don't need to worry about having to take lunch boxes and stuff to work. There's also very little temptation with regards to stuff like fast food and buying food from shops and stuff like that. The main thing is consistency. So if I can stick to the diet plan and the nutrition, I should be able to do quite well. But obviously, saying you're going to stick to something and actually sticking to something is a completely different thing. In terms of the thread itself, it is obviously a really long event. 7 hours is what I'm aiming for. The Dragon Ride Gran Fondo was 9 hours, and towards the end of that I was faltering. However, my power didn't drop off as much as I expected. Like I said, I had an FTP of 310, and for the last 20 minutes of the Dragon Ride I averaged about 250. So obviously there was some drop off, but I do think I have solid all day power. For that I consumed about 110 grams of carbs per hour, and that was without any real focused gut training. Obviously during training rides and stuff I took in a solid amount of carbs, but I was never really focusing on increasing that amount. So I do think I have a naturally high carb tolerance. The more carbs you can take in early in a race specifically, the better you'll feel late on. So if I can increase that to like 140, that would be really good. Hopefully in those final few hours I will still have some pop in the legs, especially when going up Hard Not Pass. You need to be able to just dig deep and put out some real power there. Obviously there's a hell of a lot more to go through regarding sub 7. The biggest issue I think I'm going to have is getting up Hard Not Pass. I think I'm going to have to swap out my 36 tooth chainring to something much smaller, but that is a problem for future Jarrod to figure out. For now, I'm just going to focus on rehabbing my knee and getting into some consistency regarding diet. Sub 7 is a big challenge, so I am inviting you guys to come and join me. Obviously the thread is all about the hills, but on the flats and stuff you really do need to maintain a high average speed. For the whole event, to get sub 7, you need to be averaging around 26 kilometers an hour. And when you're going uphill, your average is going to be so much lower than that, which means on the flats, you really need to be giving it some welly to bring that average up. For that reason, riding in a group and sharing the load is going to be a huge thing. So I invite anyone who wants a huge challenge for next year to get the training done, come down and join me on race day, and we can ride as a group and try and smash sub 7 together. So yeah, if you want to join me, hit me up in the comments, hit me up on my Instagram, and we can talk about it. All right, that's pretty much it. So for those who have watched all the way to the end, you might have noticed that I'm not wearing my old Garmin Fenix 7. The Fenix 7 wasn't even that old, but I sold it. And I now have an Apple Watch Ultra 3. So I also got rid of my Garmin bike computer and switched to Wahoo. So if you want to know why I've got rid of all my Garmin products, I'll definitely be making a video on that. Like I said, I'm rehabbing my knee, so not much actual fitness content coming soon, so I am scraping at the barrel in terms of content. All right, that's pretty much it from me. I'll see you next month for an update video. I am going to put one out on the 1st of every month, so I will see you next month. Sub 7 squad, peace out.